Well, good day, Scott. Thanks again for joining me. And we're going to be discussing training, one of my favorite things. And I'm sure you didn't do any kind of training in the Army, did you? I'm just kidding. I know that day in and day out, that's probably a lot of what you did. So why don't we just jump right into training?
Yeah, yes, I knew. Yeah, that's what we did for sure. For sure, there we did train every single day, and as Bill Murray said, so eloquently, we did army training, sir. All right, here's my that's a bad attempt at humor, but one of the neat things about the army is everything is a systems approach, and we approached training in the same way. We had a detailed planning process. 7 weeks before we conducted training, we would do all of our planning, and then at 6 weeks out, we would lock into training. What that meant is that from 6 weeks on, there was no ability to train what you were planning to do.
Mhm.
So, what the good part about every leader at every single level knew what they had to do and how they were going to execute the training. But I think that the revolutionary change for me occurred with Army training was when I was a first lieutenant in Germany in 1986. And yeah, you can kind of start backward planning on how old I am. I am old. But anyway, the chief of staff of the Army at that point in time unveiled a new way of training what we were going to focus on. And it took units away from trying to do everything, a mile wide and an inch deep, and to focus their efforts on what they called metal tasks or the mission essential task list. And this new way of training is still in use today. And I guess the key to this concept was identifying the critical task that was needed for each specialty to successfully complete their mission, from individuals all the way up to large organizations. And these tasks all built on one another, and they were interconnected to ensure success.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that seems like such a simple concept, and obviously it's been very successful for the Army, during all of these times of conflict. So, what do you see as being the challenges when it comes to like general contractors, specialty contractors, when they're trying to apply these concepts in today's, work environment?
Yeah, well, actually, I think it starts with the software, right? There are tons of training systems on the market today, and I don't think they offer necessarily the customization that you could, expect from systems that you have. So, task and safety armor, can be assigned to each the low, mid, and high level employees, as well as customized for each employee in the organization. And with each one of those training tasks that you select, the frequencies can also be selected and customized as well to include their required onboarding training tasks. And then we track all of that training on the dashboard to determine low, mid, and high level employees, whether they completed that task. Hey, these are the number of tasks they had to do. Were they 100% on time? And then were they late or not? So you could be 100% on time and 100% late, and you'll know that you have a risk problem there because you haven't completed your task on time. So at the end of the day, each this training culminates with each one of these employees having their own training dashboard. All right, so it's all customized to them, and it tracks their training and onboard tasks to include their certifications, their licenses of their new hire, as well as their new hire evaluations. Again, that's something ABC looks at for a leading indicator. New hire evaluations and even their educational requests. They can request to go to school, and that'll track from beginning to end in a workflow. So another real key factor in training is where are your authorized trainers, your competent people, and your senior trainers? Safety Armor allows you to track every single one of those folks, and you'll be able to identify where they are for each task on every single project. So you will know, and you will have a report that's at your fingertips to know where your trainers are at all times, so that when you have folks that need training, you can go to those folks on those job sites and get them to get the training that they need right away.
Wow. Well, like that's not enough capability, but I mean, that's a lot of information. But is there anything else that you want to share about training before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think there's one other area I'd like to focus on too is that safety armor also when you do training it produces individual training certifications for each of your required training or your onboard training. So if you did silica training, traditionally no one gets a certificate for doing silica training in a company. Safety armor produces that certification, and these certs are signed and date stamped. And when you hit the submit button on the form, they are automatically sent to the employee's phone as well as his or her email, so they can put them in their individual training file. And we think this is a little bit different, right? It shows that we care about our people and that it's something different. So not just creating a safer environment for the company, but also we're taking care of our people as well at a different level.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that information, Scott. I know safety, it's really is about taking care of your people. And, we continue to see how safety armor does that very well. So I can't wait to see what we're going to be talking about in our next episode. So take care, everyone. And thank you for joining us on our Construction Safety Mindset Minute today.
Thanks, folks. See ya.